PAP continues to put it on us. About 20% of all marriages currently are mixed marriage. And what do? To confuse us further, they introduce double racial classification. It has no use in building ourselves to a common Singaporean identity. We should have the freedom to define ourselves and not let the government put a racial stamp on our forehead. So I say no to this policy. Second policy, racial quotas for HDB housing. Backward. It makes the exchange of flat difficult if we need to meet those racial quotas. Why is HDB discriminating lessees with that policy? That policy doesn't apply to commercial properties. That policy doesn't apply to private housing. Why do you discriminate HDB dwellers? This policy has to go. Ethnic self-help groups. The spirit of helping the community is correct, but it shouldn't be provided in a divisive manner. I say, get rid of the self-help groups in their ethnic form and come up with a national help group that integrates help across the whole community. We don't want tuition classes that are racially homogeneous. We want integration. These racial policies, using three major racial categories, are out of date because the demography of Singapore has changed. You know that. We have new citizens. You have married interculturally. We need to go beyond. We need to set our identity free from the PAP. The last policy I want to touch upon is the GRC and the minority certificate, a matter I know very well. Once again, in this election, I applied for a minority cert successfully. I disagree with the GRC system. I disagree with the being labeled as a minority. I'm nobody's minority. Not the PAP's minority. I'm nobody's minority. But the ridiculousness of that process. Why does anyone has to apply for a minority certificate every election? Because their race has changed in between? Who issues the minority certificate for the committee that issues the minority certificate? That is the ridiculousness of their policies. Race-based policies are relics of the past. They were an expedient tool by the colonizers to bring in innocent immigrants into hard labor, and we were labeled as such as a result. But the PAP has prolonged this colonial labeling. The truth is, it perpetuates structural racial discrimination because of this racial approach to policies. It creates the majority-minority syndrome that an evolving cosmopolitan multicultural society does not need. Race-based policies take up resources, time, energy, emotional energy, because identity is a personal matter. And when the state labels you and you have no control, it hurts us. That's why tonight I decided I'll move away from the regular discussion on the economy and how it has made us poor, and show and remind all of us there are other fundamental policies that the PAP has put into place that is perpetuating, that makes us poor in spirit. And let us keep our focus also on those types of bad policies. I today decided to make public this pledge to you. I am committed to speaking up for you and your family. That's why I joined the SDP. I will speak up. I will speak up when the government is irresponsible with your money. I will speak up when the government tries to ignore your concerns. I will speak up when you are discriminated and divided by unfair policies. Most importantly, I will speak up when no one else wants to speak up for you. 50 years of PAP rule has made us forget how to speak up for each other. Let my colleagues and I serve you as your voice in Parliament. Together, we can start speaking up for Singapore. Vote SDP! And of course, may I just also remind you, I still want to sack that bugger.